Your environment will change you before you change it. I don't care who you're talking to. What if I told you for $1, I will introduce you to hundreds of entrepreneurs every single morning this week? From all across the country, you'll be able to talk to hundreds of entrepreneurs, and I'll coach you. I'll coach you for $1 this whole week, and I'll introduce you to some of my successful friends for $1 this week. Would you take part in that? Well, go to themorningmeetup.com because that's exactly what we're doing here, okay? The only organization that gathers entrepreneurs every single day for the betterment of entrepreneurship, okay? Every single day, Monday through Friday, we gather, we're growing, we're learning. We got a book club. Have you ever seen hundreds of entrepreneurs reading the same book every single chapter, every single day? We're growing together, okay? You need the environment to grow in. Themorningmeetup.com, $1. I'm gonna give you all this for $1. If you wanna stay, great. It's $79 a month after that. If not, no obligation. You can leave whenever you want. All right? themorningmeetup.com. I'll see you in the morning. All right. Welcome to another edition of the Social Proof Podcast. We are here live in Clearwater, Florida. Clap. It sounds like it's a lot of people here, but it's a good 8. You know what I mean?
It is.
So we are here. Joe just flew in so we can record this episode because we got to record no matter what. And for some reason, I know Donnie's birthday. Your birthday's coming up, right?
By the time this airs.
Your birthday. How old are you going to be?
It'll be my birthday.
Good. Okay, so her birthday is coming up. She's seasoned. You know what I mean? What? Yeah, and you had the best stop. You had the best year of your life. Financially,
yes.
How did that happen?
I mean, first of all, how was your day?
It was good.
How was your week?
You're not answering my interview questions.
How was your week?
My week was amazing. What did I do this week? We're in Clearwater training and learning this week. I'm excited about that. Just getting more clarity. So after the thing that happened with me, I did lose motivation and inspiration for a good little bit. Well, for a week and a half or so. I don't want anything. I ain't had no goals. I'm not excited about the new year. I'm just staying busy. But I'm getting my sauce back. So
I can tell. This is probably why you have on the small wrinkled shirt.
Well, you can see this wrinkle. Well, they wouldn't know that.
They do now.
Anyway.
Want to ask me about my week?
Yeah. How was your week?
My week was...
No, I really want to know. Like, I want to break down this year. Like, how you feel like before your birthday. It's the best year financially, right? And so we're sharing that together.
Yeah.
Right?
We both hit our 7-figure years.
We both hit our 7-figure years.
You did significantly more 7 figures than I did.
Yeah, but you're in a relationship, which we can applaud. You know what I mean? That'll never happen. You feel me? You're happy. So tell me about like the feeling of, because here's the thing, in all seriousness. So a lot of people celebrate their birthday because it's their birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And not necessarily having accomplished much, which I stopped that years ago, just celebrating just to be celebrating. And I started only celebrating accomplishments. But what I was doing was, so that I can celebrate my birthday, I would set certain targets to hit. And if I hit the goal, then I would celebrate. So this would be a good year to celebrate because we hit some targets. And last year, I remember just having a really, really good year and I celebrated my birthday. But if there was nothing to celebrate, if I just had a very average year, I wouldn't celebrate my birthday. I just me. And I mean, that's not everybody, but you got a lot to celebrate. So I'm really proud of you in all seriousness.
Thank you. So yeah, we have a lot to celebrate this year. So at the top of the year, I created 42 goals.
42 goals?
42 goals goals or affirmations, things that I was speaking in to my life to happen this year. And I looked about 2 weeks ago and I have achieved 38 of them.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the stuff maybe it's not like all 42. I'm sure they're not like major goals. But
no, they're not all major. So a lot of them are things related to the woman that I needed to become.
Like?
Right? So for example, we create these 7-figure goals sometimes and it's just about the money. but we don't oftentimes focus on who we need to be in order for that to happen. So to become a 7-figure entrepreneur, I could not operate as a 6-figure entrepreneur. So that meant that I had one of my affirmations or one of my goals was to delegate to an executive level position in my company.
Hold on, say it again.
Delegate to an executive level position in my company.
Delegate to an executive level.
Meaning I have to staff that position.
Oh, I get it. Delegate to, okay, I got you.
Which is really, really difficult for me.
I don't know why I touched that.
I don't know, maybe you guys know, but most of us create businesses that we feel like are our babies. And the things that I consider to be important, I would always try to do myself. And then everything else I would delegate, but very small tasks. This year, I had to learn how to get out of my own way because I was the bottleneck in my business. I was the person who was keeping it from going to 6 figures by trying to do everything that I thought were the important tasks that meant something. And so that's one thing. I wanted to be more spiritually connected this year. So creating a regular routine of meditation, affirmation, prayer, just having a morning routine that worked out well this year. One of my affirmations was to have the ability to pay me, my mom, and my daughter's bills on time with ease. So I have been paying me, my mother, and
ease. That's like ease. That's a little adage right there. I want to be able to pay it with ease.
I have been paying my mother and my daughter's bills for years, but it hasn't always been with ease. Right? So I wanted to be able to pay those bills, and I thought about it like everything is set up on auto pay, and I literally had to go into my Mercedes app to make sure, is my daughter's car note being paid? Like, I don't even see it come out of my bank account. So that is like with ease, right? I don't blink at tuition. How much is it? I'm not worried about it. That was something very major. I also wanted to be better. One of the things that I wanted to do this year that I did not accomplish was being a better friend.
No, I can't agree. I cannot agree. You have been an awesome friend to me. So when y'all see, this is my best friend. So like, if you see me like roasting her, it's out of love. That's how I show my love. But you have been an incredible friend. So I can't
to you
sign that up.
But there are a few day ones who would think otherwise. I got brand new, right? And I did. Wow. I became a brand new person because I had to become something that I had never been before in order to get the results that I'm getting today. And unfortunately, that means that I had to have zeroed in focus. And this was happening. It wasn't even intentionally that I planned for it. It was just what was required. And I was willing to do it. So I didn't show up for my friends this year the way that I wish I had been able to show up for my friends. We're going to push that into next year now that I have some more team and more systems in place. But I didn't make a lot of birthdays. I didn't make a lot of brunches. I felt left out of a lot of stuff. So that's something that's important to me, and I need to be a better friend. You and I have been able to be connected so closely because we're also business partners. So it kind of goes hand in hand. What else are some of the things?
Here's the thing though. I mean, well, I guess, but it's almost like that goal would be contradictory to the other goal. Like it's conflicting. Either I'm going to do whatever it takes to have this 7-figure year, or I'm going to do whatever it takes to be the best friend that I can be. And you can't have both, whatever it takes. It just, they conflict.
I agree. But it is still important to me to figure it out. Like at the end of the day, when you think about the things that matter, money helps, but relationships mean a whole lot more.
But I believe the right relationships will understand. And I don't understand. I don't know the dynamics, because it could have been some things that you could have made and he was like, I just don't want to.
For sure.
Oh, that's a different,
For sure. There were some things I could have made, and I chose to do work when I could have done work later.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right?
All right, that makes sense.
But yeah, I mean, I believe that my friends, my real friends, understand the type of grind that I was on and the type of focus that I had to have this year. but it's still, their understanding still doesn't mean I don't feel a way about it.
I got you.
Yeah. So ton of goals, ton of things. Obviously the 7 figures, that was done. I did it and didn't even know I did it. So that was exciting. I was just so focused on creating the impact and making sure that we had things in place so that we could service our clients and customers. So I know that we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, I got to run the numbers and see, because I collect money. Earlier in the year, I was collecting money in different places. So I wanted to run the numbers, and I wanted to make sure the numbers were accurate, right? Like including any disputes or chargebacks and things like that. So yeah, we hit the 7 figures. We breezed through it actually. And so that's really awesome. I can't think of many other things right off the top of my head, but 38 of those 42 things are done.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you keep a running list? You kept a running list all throughout the year, or you wrote it in the beginning of the year and then came back at the end like, oh, well, I did do that.
So both. I have a journal. I journal often. I've fallen off of journaling a little bit, but I journal often. And in the beginning of every single year, when I start a new journal, in the first couple of pages, I usually reserve for my goals, my affirmations, things like that. And then in my bathroom, on my bathroom wall, and in between my mirrors, I have my Post-it notes everywhere with these goals. So I see them every single day as I'm getting dressed, doing my hair, putting on makeup. I literally say these things out loud every single day. So I'm very aware of what they are. And I was standing there in the mirror one day, and I was just looking at all the Post-it notes, and I'm like, man, I did that. Did that. So I brought out the journal. And so in the journal, when I write these things down, it's always usually at the very end of the year. So I know what I'm focused on day one. But I do leave a page or two to add to that list. Gotcha. And I did add some things to the list because for me, this year was about becoming. We talked about that last night. This year for me was about becoming the woman who I needed to be to reach certain goals, to hit certain milestones, to be in a relationship that I was happy with, to make the money that I wanted to make, to be the mom and the daughter that I wanted to be. It's just not a thing. You just don't make the money. You have to become something. Yeah. And so this year for me was about becoming in certain areas.
That's dope. I need to create a list because I didn't necessarily create a list. And I think some of the things that I wanted, and I don't know if this is right or not, but I do believe in setting goals. But if I'd have made a list of the things that I wanted to accomplish last year for this year, some of the things would have been so small, I think it would have kept me from accomplishing the things that I did accomplish. I would have never, I would have put like, I don't know, a Mercedes or a car on there. Or I'd have said something like, if this was last year, if last year, I think last year I did maybe like 600,000. I'd have probably put like 800. You know what I mean? Like just something that I feel like I can do consciously. Now I started mapping out, okay, how do we make that happen? But now I think some of the goals for next year is just, one, I do have a number in mind, but I gotta get around different tables. And one of the things I have to accomplish next year is getting around tables of different colors. Because all of my tables,
all of them,
are like this. You know what I mean? Like every table is just, and they're nice tables. They're nice tables with nice black velvet. It's nice. It's nice. But I need to expand outside of the circle that I'm comfortable. And I guess I'm comfortable with everybody, but and I don't know how I'm going to do it though.
Well, we're here, so you started the process, right? And I want to counter what you said. If last year I made 6, my goal this year would have been 8. We set a number this year. We said we wanted to make $1 million.
But you know what? Right before we said that, what did AD say? Right before the episode, he said you need to go for 10.
Go make 10.
He said the best way to make $1 million is to go make 10.
Did you really go for 10 though?
I know what you're thinking. How the heck do you make money from a podcast? Is David just doing this podcast because he likes it, or there's a heavily monetized strategy attached to it? Well, it's both. I really love talking and interviewing people and getting free game from really successful people. But also, this is a 7-figure podcast. I'm telling you right now, there's so much money in podcasting, and we're early in the space. I really feel like it's 2009, and I'm telling you to buy Bitcoin. I'm right now telling you to start podcasting because in 5-10 years, it's skyrocketing. Those are the names that are going to be the ones who have the voices in our world, the ones that start a podcast right now, okay? So I put together everything I know about podcasting in an easily digestible program, okay? So go to podcastersblueprint.com, and you know I got to give y'all some love, okay? Enter code SOCIALPROOF. I'm taking 20% off so you can get your voice heard, all right? So this podcast that you're loving and enjoying, there's other people that's going to love and enjoy yours too, okay? Podcastersblueprint.com. Let's get back to the episode. I didn't go for 10, but I did go for, when he said it, $1 million seemed so small. Mm-hmm. And then in the pursuit of that, you start getting around people who go for 10.
Yeah.
Right? And if you're around people that are going for 10, and I was just talking to my boy out there, and he said, you know, he'll do 10 this year. And okay, this is what he said. He's going to do about 10 this year, and next year he's going for 25. That doesn't, not that it doesn't make sense, but how are you going to go from 10 to 25? Mm-hmm. Like, what does that plan look like? But the fact of the matter is, he's going from 10 to 25. Like, yo, this is a big jump, meaning he understands there has to be something totally different. So I don't think he can put on his list, be a better friend. I don't know.
It's important to him. It could be a better leader.
But that's a huge goal to go after.
It could be a better strategist.
True.
Be a better CEO. Be a better marketer.
But I think maybe you got to put the stuff that you're willing to give up.
That's fair.
I think in one column, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do this year. I'm going to put one column, the things that I'm willing, the big goals that I want to go after, but on another column, the things that I'm willing to give up. And that's going to be a hard thing to do. Mm-hmm. Imagine people's names on that side, or the things that you really, really love to do. And maybe it'd be productive. Like, okay, this is the goal, but I'm not going to drink all this year. I'm going to give that up, even though that's my thing that I do when I'm bored or when I'm comfortable, and it's not even about like drinking is bad, but I think with every massive growth, there has to come some sort of sacrifice. And if you just identify the sacrifice early.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's just like the investment table that we train on. Whatever we're investing in, right, we have to make a deposit of something, whether it's time, mental energy, physical energy, whatever those things are. But along with those investments or those deposits, to deposit into one account, that means that there had to be a withdrawal from another. Mm. So when I create my goals, I am focused on the goal. I'm not focused on the parts that I don't want. So for example, those Post-it notes that I have, all I need to see is what I want, because I believe strongly in the power of manifestation. And so part of accomplishing goals is programming my subconscious mind to believe what I want it to believe. So I need to see I have a 7-figure goal this year, $1 million. I don't need to see I don't do one-on-one coaching anymore. I don't do that. I don't need to see what I don't need. Mm-hmm. I can think that through and write that down somewhere else. But when it comes to what I see every single day, I only see the result that I want.
You know what I think I'm putting on my list? No more designer.
I appreciate that.
That's going to be the sacrifice.
Yeah. For the whole year?
For the whole year.
Okay. So earlier today, Neo, I think it was.
I think. Because you see a nice sweatshirt. You see it's a nice shirt. You know what I mean?
Designer is relative. So that hoodie over there is designer. It's just not
you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And again, it's not I'm going to stop buying designer for the sake of saving the money. But I feel like with every time I've ever like fasted something, I've seen growth or clarity of mind or, something. Every time I'm willing to give something up. And I want to intentionally give up something. And maybe, okay, don't hold me to that.
No. So whatever you give up has to be painful enough or it doesn't mean anything. So for example, you weren't in the room today. I believe you were in church maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was Neo, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, who challenged us to perform our next workshop activity or challenge activity. And he said, put a date on it, right? What's the date? Commit. And if you don't commit to it, what are you willing? What's the consequence that you're willing to put on yourself? And so I literally said that I literally selected my performance date, and my consequence is having to pay this guy $10,000 if I don't do it.
Really?
You want to see it?
Oh, okay, hold on. So what is it? Hold on, what do you got to do?
Well, I don't want to say the dates, but I'll show you because I don't know when this is going to air. I'm about to show you.
How did I get left out of this?
Huh?
How did I get left out of this?
Well, because it will pain me to have to pay him $10,000.
Would it pay me too?
Yeah. No, so when Neo was talking earlier,
I'm about to try to sabotage her. You know what I mean?
No, okay. So he said, what's the goal? I said, I'm having my first $1 million day in March 2022. Okay. I'm going to have I affirmed that I was going to have my first $100,000 day in November 2021. And I did it. Period. Had no idea how it would be done. Did it. Turn around 2 weeks later, did it again. Right. Never knew what would happen. Then.
Hold on real quick. If you don't have the $1 million day, you owe me $10,000.
No, that is not what this is about. So it's.
How about this though?
No, listen.
Okay. I got excited. Hold on.
He is a gold digger. I want everybody to know. The reason that he's made so much money is because he's a gold digger. Okay? Period.
I would still push you to do it though. That's exciting.
So I am going to have my first $1 million day in March. Day, to be clear. Why am I doing this? We talked about why I'm doing this. Then, what is the penalty for not... when am I getting it? When am I doing it?
I have a 6-7-figure career opportunity in my company. Golly, that's hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
So why am I doing this? Why am I going for this? Because it's not about the money. And when you're going for a monetary goal, strangely enough, it can't be about the money.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, one of the things that I wanted to do this year was to position my mom to never have to go back to work again. She wants to do whatever she wants to do. That's fine. But she never has to go back to work again. Done that. That's one of those things. The second thing, something that I affirmed was that I wanted to create a vehicle for generational wealth to occur. I literally see how what I do today can grow and evolve into generational wealth. And then one of the things that I also have on my board was creating a 6 to 7 figure career opportunity for my daughter who's currently in college, right? She is majoring in marketing. I am not sure that that's what she will ultimately do just because I knew my own struggles with college and completely changing directions, but I didn't have options. So I had to get out here and do a million things. I'm like you. I have sold everything under the sun, tried everything under the sun. She won't have to do that. She's going to have a position waiting that's not like she's already doing the entry level work. So she'll be qualified for a 6-figure position upon graduation that should grow into 7 figures. Anyway, so then he asked us to put a date on it. And I said January 10th. And if we didn't do it, what's the penalty? I'll give Chance 10 grand.
If you don't do the challenge.
If I don't do the challenge on this date.
Oh, you're going to do the challenge.
I am absolutely
100%.
going to do the challenge.
I need to set a list. Yo, you just looking at that list, like reminded me, I haven't like really wrote down my high level lists in a while. And I feel like we need to do that. Like even tonight.
Let's do it.
We'll involve food. Find out what times the place is closed around here. I feel like we just need to have a session or just like write down the things that we're going to accomplish in the moment with other people because I want to make a list and I want to look at your list. And sometimes seeing somebody else's list helps you realize how small you're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And not saying you need to do, what somebody else is doing, but it's something about just being in an environment of big thinkers.
Yeah, for sure.
and I really need to accomplish it.
Mm-hmm. And even this list, like I'll hold it up to somebody else's list and it's going to seem so small. But these are the things that are currently, these are 3 things. He asked for 3 things, and those are the most important things to me, right?
Gotcha.
I birthed that child and my mama birthed me. So that's the first thing that we're doing. But going into the next year, my focus is really heavy on continuing to build community. We do that very well. But I want to do more than just build community of people who pay me to be in my community, right? I actually want to take my community and go into other communities. I talked to you about this a little bit. I had my very first inner circle meeting this morning, and I threw the idea out of going to Ghana and like sponsoring, if it's still, please don't eat me up in the comments if I'm wrong about this, but like sponsoring a village or a community, like doing something
villages.
that
Do they?
makes,
They got villages in Ghana?
It's villages, right? Tribes.
I'm just mad that your goal based on like something you've seen on TV. You know
No, it's not. So I see. Yes.
No, I think what's the name? I think Jeremy. What does Jeremy do? He goes to South Africa.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it all the time. Like a good friend, a mutual friend that we have, David Imanitier, has gone like to Nigeria and like bought shoes for an entire village of children. I am creating, like with what I do every single day, with what we both do, we are creating impact leaders.
Yeah.
And it's important to impact within our communities, right? But it's also important to take a percentage of that and give back for a much larger mission.
That's right.
And
real quick, I have a nonprofit. Do you want to give to my nonprofit?
Let's talk about it. Sure.
I'm asking you right now.
Yeah.
$10,000 donation.
Oh.
And you can write it off.
I have a nonprofit.
What? You don't have a nonprofit?
I do. Actually,
it's a registered 501c3?
I have 2.
Hey, and real quick, y'all, if y'all have like a tax burden, just let me know. You can give to a nonprofit. Anyway, so that's important. And ideally, what I focus on, and here's the crazy thing, it's like kind of a tax strategy, but it pushed me into... Real quick
before you do that, just to let you guys know, I introduced the concept of going into these other countries with Shan's to build community and create massive impact. And his response was that the flight was too long. I just want you to know who your leader is, okay?
Yo, first off, the flight is like No, you didn't say.
I said it was like 20-something hours.
You said, I have a inner circle mastermind. You have an inner circle mastermind. Let's take our inner circle mastermind to Ghana. I'm like, no, let's go to Puerto Rico. You know what I mean? You know, Mexico. You know, somewhere closer. I don't like them long flights.
Is it the same? It is not the same impact. You literally...
What do you mean it's not the same impact? How far is Haiti?
How far is Haiti?
2 hours? 3 hours? I'm with that. Let's just do Haiti. Well,
I can do Haiti.
I don't know if you could do a mastermind in Haiti. No, okay, so don't listen.
I would like for that mission location to have a Ritz-Carlton.
I was about to say, don't be deceived. Don't be deceived. She want to go somewhere where it's like...
I'm joking.
She's not joking. She wants to go somewhere that's high level and then you can go down the street somewhere and like give it to the kids to come back to the Ritz. You know what I mean? I know your game. But she didn't put it that way. She said, let's take our mastermind together and go to Ghana. I'm like, But Haiti is cool if... No, I wouldn't take the mastermind to Haiti, I don't think. Haiti, a mission trip for sure, huh? So we proposed Jamaica, yes, and Mexico, things of that nature.
Not Mexico, because Mexico is an over-visited podcast. Nice. People, it's nothing against Mexico. It's just over, earlier this year, it's an over-visited, overexposed location, and I want to go somewhere that doesn't get a lot of exposure but has a lot of need.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm not going to Ghana. It's cool. St. Thomas, Virgin Islands. As long as the flight ain't super long, I'm with it. And then, Co, you'll have your mastermind by then, so we can all do it together. Absolutely. Yes. Oh, yes. She's putting together a trip. Yep. No Ghana. Nothing wrong with Ghana. I just don't want to fly there. I'll send some love to Ghana. But anyway, it sparked something because I have this nonprofit that I haven't done anything with for a while. But before, we were in the schools like twice a week. Like we would take all these entrepreneurs and go to the schools like twice a week. And somewhere along the way, it just kind of got lost. And I got, focused on, building certain things. And then COVID hit, so we couldn't do anything through, kind of 2020, 2021. And I think I established it in 2019. But my objective, and I'm putting this on the goal, is we're going to buy a building where we're going to be able to just bring kids in to learn entrepreneurship for free. Now, obviously, there has to be a part to make money. So we'll make money from the building, but the nonprofit is going to own a building, and I actually identify one, and I'm putting in like 60% of the money. So it works because it's a tax benefit for me, but it's forcing me to kind of get back into, going to the schools of the Black Wall Street Tour. It's called a Black Wall Street Tour, where we bring Black business owners to the schools to talk to the kids about entrepreneurship. And it was so impactful. There was a guy in the bank a couple months ago, and he said, "Man, you came to my school 4 years ago." He said, "I remember everything, and I'm working my entrepreneurial business, and I get that all the time. Not all the time, but every couple months, I'll run into a student in Atlanta. They're grown now because we made that impact. So we're gonna kick that back up. You came, right? Yeah. If you live in Atlanta and you know me, you probably came to the schools with me. So we're gonna kick that back up because it's needed.
I have a question. So you literally 7x'd your income.
Who said that? Chill, fam.
Yo.
You're doing too much now. You're doing too much.
What are you?
But let's talk about something else.
What are you doing for tax planning? What are some of your tax planning strategies?
So, man, I'm learning a lot. When it comes to deductions and, things of that nature. Interesting enough, I'm on this call. It's called, I was on a call with a guy. He has a company. They do something easement. You know what I'm talking about? Anybody know what that is? So for one, we need to buy some land because like farmers don't necessarily have to pay taxes. But it's called, hold on, I'm gonna pull it up right now. But what happens is, and I don't want to, okay, let me just pull it up. It's called conservation easement. So they have this company where you can put money into, it's an investment, but you don't necessarily get money back from the investment. But let's just say you'll put in $200,000 into this conservation easement company. And the company, the whole objective is to preserve land. And Donald Trump has been doing it for years. And they put money into the preserving of certain land. But when you put $200,000 into it, you get huge tax breaks for it. And it might be like 2.5 times. So it might take $1 million off of, and I'll actually give you some numbers real quick. So this particular investment, so it's like 5x or something like that. So you might put $200,000 into this easement, and it takes $1 million off of your adjusted gross income. So I don't know a whole lot about it, but that's where I was at. We had this whole presentation where he's going through the laws and how it's legal, but they're trying to stop it or something like that. I don't know. But conservation easement is a strategy that wealthy people have been using for years. But it has to be the right one because they can't just preserve some land that doesn't have oil and they can't, put no water on it or nothing like that. It has to be an actual thing. So some people are getting in a lot of trouble for that. So we're just going through.
So that's your strategy?
It's a part of the strategy. You know what I mean? Or solar is like some of the same. Like if you put your money into certain investments that are that the government is pushing an agenda on, then you save money on taxes.
How do you feel? How do you feel emotionally as it relates to your taxes right now?
Sick. I'm sick.
Why?
Because I had all these plans for you like to see the money in your account. And then you realize that you got this tax burden. And they're like, yo, you gotta give that to Joe. Joe Biden won his money. So you got to try to figure out all these little things within the law. And then you talk to certain people and they're going about it in real in ethical ways, right? So shouts out to Mitch. Mitch is like, yo, I'm just not
Unethical?
that guy. Unethical?
Mm-hmm.
Unethical. That's what I said, right? What'd I say?
Unethical.
Mind your business. But Mitch is, shouts out to Mitch. He's like, yo, I'll help people with their, I've helped people save a lot of money, but I'm not the guy that's going to play in that gray area, right? Where you're trying to write off your clothes and stuff like that. You're going to jail. You can't do that. You can't do that. Like, what about my shoes? Because I'm on a podcast and I got to, no, it's just not legal. So, but what's really cool is I'm learning a whole lot. Because you ever wonder how these like super successful people, like these billionaires, like your Donald Trump, you see all this kind of stuff and you see that they don't pay taxes. It's just that they understand the law. Mm-hmm. It's not that they're doing anything wrong. It's just they understand the law. And the fact that I'm going through this is a really exciting journey of understanding how the wealthy stay wealthy. When you start having these conversations about trust, and there's rights, there's good trust, and there's there's complex trust and simple trust and irrevocable and revocable. Then you have nonprofits that are public. Like I have a public nonprofit where you put the money in the nonprofit, but you have to do what's in the bylaws for that particular nonprofit. But then you have private nonprofits where you can put in money and you could buy real estate, you could invest and all that kind of stuff, but it's still a nonprofit. But the public nonprofit, you can put in like 50% of your money in that nonprofit and do something with it, but you can't get it out. The private nonprofits like 30%, but I'm just learning all of this stuff. So it's an exciting journey. I do got to give a lot of money to Joe, but
I think
it is what it is. The good news is I didn't spend the money that I made. So I don't be out here spending. I spend a little bit, but what I'm saying is, there's some people out here that make a lot of money, but they spend every dime, and they go so hard because they spent it all, and then they make some more, but then they spend it all, and the habit stays the same. So I have it was almost like every single month I'm putting money into crypto and in stocks. And in some sort of investment vehicle that I can go get. Yeah. So I'm excited about that. So
I'm excited too. In the upcoming year, one of my focuses is also putting a team of advisors around me to teach me what to do with my money. Yeah. Because at this point, I know how to make it right very well. Multiplying it on a bigger scale. And I'm not talking about creating another offer or another product. I'm talking about multiplying it, true passive income, investing it, protecting it, and keeping it. I want to put a team of advisors around me. I have been interviewing for quite some time for a CPA.
All right, look, I know you're enjoying the episode, but I got to tell you, finally, you asked for it. And we created a Patreon, okay? We created an inner circle. We have amazing stories, amazing information, how-tos from the episodes. The only thing we're missing is a community. So it's about that time. We put together a Patreon, we put together a community because we have to have conversation around the information. So even this podcast we're listening to right now, there needs to be conversation. I want to hear what you got. Like, let's throw some stuff back and forth. And because we're like-minded, we're all going in the same direction. When we connect in a community, we can connect on other stuff outside the community because we're building real relationships. Okay. So check out the Patreon. We got 3 tiers. I don't care what tier you join. The support is appreciated. Okay. Thank you so much. Now back to the episode.
And there are so many people who are really skilled at what they do, but are still not giving me the answers that I think I'm looking for.
Yes, definitely.
Like, I need to know Ross Perot's strategy. How did this man make $1 billion and pay $1 in taxes?
Yo, I'm on the line with the guy today, and he said, not Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, either Warren Buffett or Bill Gates, is like the largest landowner in the world or something like that. And Bill Gates, he don't have to pay taxes. But we don't know this stuff. And like the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, we think, oh, well, they're billionaires and they're being philanthropists. Well, no, it's a tax strategy. That's why I think it's important to grow with the money. Because some people will just make the money and we want the money to grow. But if you don't grow with the money will eventually come back to whatever level you're on.
Yeah.
So you have to continue to grow. That's why I am excited about this tax burden and the money that I have to pay for taxes, because I'd have never learned some of this stuff. And now, obviously, it's crunch time. It's end of the year. But now I know that in the very beginning of it's getting me like more innovative. I'm setting up one of my streams of income. I'm opening up another bank account, and I got to pick one of the streams of income that I have, and that's going to a separate account, and it's only going to taxes. So I don't even necessarily need to, take a chunk out every quarter or whatever. But if I have, let's say, I don't know, my YouTube money, right? YouTube money that's a nice income that I don't necessarily need the money every month. But if it goes to a separate account, I know at the end of the year, if I didn't touch it, that will have, let me see.
But doesn't that just increase your tax liability?
No, I mean, you're going to make the money anyway. But what I'm saying is, if say, for instance, I'd already put aside $300,000, like in an account, I didn't touch it. Well, I just take that money because it's in my head, it's already sectioned off and I haven't been looking at it all year. I just take that money and you pay your taxes.
Right. So you're not talking about creating an additional stream that's going to bring in new money, because that's just going to increase your tax liability.
Well, I'm going to make more money for sure next year. But I'm just saying, and I think all of my streams did. It's not like all of the streams like that, but the objective is for the stream to grow. If the stream grows, then whatever is going into that particular account will grow with the income, and I just pay my tax. That's just kind of the thing I got.
Y'all remember when we used to be trying to find strategies like to increase our tax refund check? Yo, I'm claiming her this year, okay? I didn't get enough back. What can you do to make sure I get more money back? And now it's like you've learned that if you're getting a tax refund, you are playing the game all wrong. Yeah. Like you're playing the game all wrong. So for those of you who are looking for tax refunds, wealth is not your strategy right now.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, my mom asked me, so I just shared with my mom and my daughter both that we hit the 7-figure goal a week ago.
Oh, really?
It hasn't even been a week yet. So I kind of had been knowing it. I just haven't wanted to look at the numbers because I didn't want to just slide in, right? I wanted to hit it. So I was waiting, and we had a conversation when we went our last business meeting, and I'm like, let me look at this stuff and really put things into perspective.
Oh, real quick, because tomorrow's the 15th, and you were supposed to finish something from that business meeting. Speaking of which, and I wouldn't have said no if you didn't bring it up. Is it done or?
Is it the 15th?
It's tomorrow. It's a couple hours.
Is it the 15th?
Proceed. That's a no.
Okay. So we have a third party who's handling this thing that he's talking about, and I will check in with said third party on the 15th as I agreed. Okay, you know fire me.
Okay, hold on. How's your situation going, Joe? No.
Where's your mic?
Okay, so how's it going? Because we talked about something.
He's looking real uncomfortable right now.
No, I'm looking real confused right now. Because we talk about a lot of things.
The Patreon.
Oh.
How's it going?
It's growing. It's not there yet. We'll still got some time.
What was the goal?
150.
Bye.
The mic.
I don't want to touch it because it's going to make a noise. I can
you hear it? Okay.
Yeah. It's 150 by the end of January.
So, Joe, just to put it out there, you cool? You talking about it?
I mean, we're talking about it now.
Well, we're here already. We're here.
While we're on the subject.
So, and here's what I want from everybody. In everybody around me, I want excellence and I want to be pushed to excellence.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a good relationship where I push you, you push me. And Joe has the situation where he gets how much you make from the Patreon? How much?
30%.
30%. So I said, Joe, you're recording this podcast. Yo, bro, if you set up the Patreon and you can kind of run the thing and you can grow it, he has access to my Instagram account, so he can use my Instagram account as much as he wants to. He has access to my text account. He knows he can email Jen and just notify people about Patreon. So people can pay between $5 and $40 a month for Patreon, for behind the scenes stuff. So upload episodes early, things of that nature. And I'm like, Joe, 30%. This is earlier in the year. But I'm noticing that the Patreon isn't growing. But initially, what'd you say to the Patreon lady said? There should, it's 1% of the following or something?
1% total of your Instagram following.
So she said the average would be 1% of Instagram following. So I got 220,000 followers times 1%. So we should have 2,200 people in the Patreon based on what he's saying to me. So he's excited. He's, posting. He's like, hey, Dave, man, you got to put the Patreon out there, talking about the Patreon. Side note, if you're not following the podcast, please hit the subscribe button. Please subscribe to the podcast, even on the audio side. If you're watching this on YouTube, go into your app on Apple and Spotify, subscribe, rate, please. Thank you so much.
And share it.
And share it. Absolutely. So there's going to be 2,200 people in the Patreon. I looked maybe a month or so ago, and it was like 70. But we had it for the year. We have the top rated the top Black entrepreneurship podcast in the country. We're in the top 50 of business podcasts in the country. And we have this Patreon where you get behind the scenes stuff. You get early episodes, ad-free episodes. You get discounts on apparel and all that kind of stuff. And Joe wasn't doing anything. You have anything to say for yourself before I keep going? Do you? So I'm looking at it and I'm like, yo, okay. So I realized that Patreon is a good opportunity to make some money. And because you're running it for your 30%, you can just keep collecting off of the 70 people that we have, which is what it equates to what? How much you been making a month about?
Give or take about extra $300.
Extra $300? So give or take about extra $300 a month. Mm-hmm. And he was talking about his financial goals. Like, yo, I want to get to $10,000 a month. I'm like, yo, at 30%, how many people do we need in the Patreon? You have a golden opportunity. We got a big brand, very powerful brand. You get 30% of that. And I was like, Joe, it feels like I'm now losing money because I know if I go promote it, we're going to grow it to that 2,200. Easy. But this is your responsibility. So I told Joe.
This is what he could be making.
Easy. He can make 100 off of this podcast and being able to really give people the experience of a Patreon. This could be a 6-figure income for you, 100%. So I'm starting to think, I'm like, yo, I don't even know how much I'm making from it, but I know it ain't a lot. I think I seen $1,200 come in or something like that. I'm like, yo, Joe, what's up to Patreon? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, okay, Joe. I said, so we got to work something out, okay? Because you're getting 30% right now, but I need to see some work ethic. You got to grow this thing. I asked Joe, I said, Joe, what number do you feel comfortable? If you put some work in, you can grow it to this many people in Patreon by January 1st. January 31st? Huh? I don't think I said that, but let's just say end of January.
We had a conversation right in December.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way possible that I could grow it that fast.
Really?
No, here's the thing. I didn't give him a number. I said, yo, I want you to really work at it. How big do you think you can grow it by this day? Let's just say January 31st. So he comes up with a number, right? You came up with a number. And I think he said...
I gave you 3 numbers.
Well, I think it was 2 numbers. The first number you gave me, and I just asked him, I said, that number, do you think it's going to cause you to stretch? And what'd you say?
No.
You said no. I said, do you want to go for a stretch goal? And he said, yeah. So he came up with a number. And I said, well, here's what's going to happen. Either if you hit this number, then this agreement we can keep in place, 30%, no problem. But if not, if you don't hit the number that you came up with, I'm just going to pay you per month to manage it. But I'm telling you, if I pay you per month, you're going to be sick at what I do with it. Sick. So I just thought to ask just now and check on it. So do you want to tell your side of the story, or is it the same?
You did your thing.
Can somebody close that door for me? I'm sorry. What do you have to say, Joe? Where we at? What's up, man? Talk to me, man. What's happening?
In all honesty,
that's all I need.
Yeah,
all honesty.
That's all I give you. In all honesty, I just believe like I'm not. I don't know, like my economic on my disc is not super high, so like I'm not driven by money.
Yeah.
So I have to find a different motivator to get me there. And I'm trying to figure out what's my motivator, besides, of course, reaching my financial goals, of course. But it's like, I believe there's something inside of me that I have to figure out that'll be my economic motivator.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still trying to figure that out, to be honest. I don't know what my economic motivator is, because I know I want to grow, to make $10,000 a month and all that type of stuff. It looks good, it sounds good, but I'm still trying to figure out what's the driving motivator that's going to say, yo, this is the thing that you need to do every day, every morning, every night to really get you there.
So maybe it's not the money. Maybe it's what you could be doing with the money. There are some situations that could change. Like the number that you should be making, if we were just at 1%, would be close to like $8,700 a month. Right now you're doing like $300, right? So then if money isn't the motivation, if seeing those numbers in your bank account isn't it, maybe write down why you're pursuing any goal. Who is this for? Who benefits? Mm-hmm. And so then now when you're not doing the work, you could say, this is for a parent. This is for my sister. This is for whatever is very important to you. And you not doing the work is saying, well, me doing whatever else I'm doing is more important than my sister, my family, my this. So what's the thing? What could change for you right now with an extra $8,700?
A lot.
Like?
Extra $8,700, I can pay off my car.
Mm-hmm.
Just have an extra $400.
That's not painful enough. People are trained to pay a car note.
It's painful.
No, people are trained to pay a car note.
Huh?
How much you owe your car?
I got like $8,000 left.
Oh my God. Do you mean your monthly income from this could have taken care of the whole payoff?
Absolutely. But I just, like I said, my thinking.
It's not painful enough. Yeah. People are trained to pay a monthly car note. What else?
My biggest goal for sure, what I want to do, and I know I've made it, is to buy a piece of land and I can create like this safe haven for kids and adults where they can kind of come and transform their lives.
How much does that cost?
I don't know.
Okay. That's why you're not pursuing the goal.
Right.
You have this fictitious thing that you want to do, but you don't know what it takes to make it happen.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So if I want to purchase $1 million house and I know that 20% out of my pocket is required, I know that I need to come up with $200,000 and then I can go and accomplish the goal. You have to not only write out what the goal is, like name-wise or categorically, what now has to happen? What do I have to have in place for my credit? What type of additional assets do I have to show? How much money is it going to take for me? How many investors might I need? You have to have those things figured out, because then you're not just working for some blanketed, I want to buy this community, blah, 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 situation, which is great. It's, I need $183,000 in order to make this happen. Right? $8,700 a month is going to get you there a whole lot faster than $300 a month.
Right.
And then it has to be something else, because right now you're letting these little kids down easily. You go to sleep easily at night. So that's not it either.
I think even going a little deeper, let me ask you, what's something that you've committed to?
Right now is losing this weight.
Okay.
And you're doing great at that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've seen you commit a couple times.
Sure.
How long has this commitment been? So far, how long have you been on this particular path?
You're going to have to.
Year and a half too?
Like on and off, back and forth, yeah.
No, I'm talking about on. Forget the off, on.
I've been on for like 2 months now.
2 months.
Actually, not a lot. 6 months.
6 months.
I started in the summer. I've been going hard since then. I've been going hard, and the diet has been off, but the working out has been consistent. I work out 3 days a week, no matter what.
So if the diet is off, and we know that diet...
No, it was off. I'm back on my diet. So
how long have you been on the diet?
Here's the root. Here's the root. And I want you, and this is like a conversation that you're going to have with you. Mm-hmm. But you have to start to look at your patterns.
Yeah.
Like looking at over the last year and a half, or however long you've been like on and off with the journey, or I'm committed, but all right, I have a little cheat meal. How many cheat meals have we had throughout the year? That's always going to throw us off for a while. And then we get to a point where like, all right, I'm too far left. I'm going to start over. And it's the starting over and then like teetering off, then starting over and then teetering off. And eventually, if you're going to be honest with yourself, what is the likelihood that you're on your journey right now? What is the likelihood that you're going to teeter off in the next few months? What's the likelihood? So it's not about the money. It's not about the Patreon. It's not about the $8,700 a month. It's not about your car. It's not about your diet. It's not about working out. There is something inside of you that will not allow you to commit. Whether we're talking about relationships, right? And you can't control like relationships that don't work out or whatever, but we can't ignore the pattern. There's always these patterns. And once I decided to commit, everything starts to grow. And just in my life, once I put on Instagram, I said, listen, I am a podcaster now. Everything is about podcasting. That's my whole life. And so committed that I'm able to cut off some other income streams. And we start talking about doing challenges. What challenge am I going to do? Launch a podcast challenge. Everything I do. We're in this class right now and I call you like, yo, it's time to podcast. Let's go. We made this decision this morning, right? We bought the flight because there's something that won't allow me to not do the thing that I'm committed to.
Well, I think in all fairness, 1%ers are 1%ers for a reason. And it's because 1%ers are willing to follow through and do what is required.
Yeah.
And then you have your top 3%, your top 10%. And I think in all fairness, not everybody is going to be a 1%er. And sometimes when you have friends like us, right, who are highly ambitious and very goal-driven, it becomes uncomfortable to be around people like us. And maybe because we're so goal-driven, we want you to be, but how we motivate him doesn't work for him.
But
right?
One thing I will say though, real quick, is we've seen a drastic improvement. And he's on, this is what I'm saying. He is on a journey. He's on a path.
I don't know about drastic.
He's definitely on a path. And it's going to be conversations like this that continue to push it.
But on the other hand, we have to be responsible with how we push him. And honestly, this year, Joe has been made very comfortable.
Yeah.
And it has worked in his detriment. Because now when Joe was hustling and trying to get off that job, his work ethic was something completely different. His motivators were something completely different. It might not have been the money, but it was you getting off that job that you no longer wanted to be on, a motivator. And you gradually increased the goal. We gradually encouraged him. Joe has been through my program, kind of gave up on that. So it's not... Joe is a starter. He's not a finisher, but just how we have to learn how to love people in their love languages, we have to also, as leaders, understand what motivates you. And we've had these kind of conversations so many times. It's not going to be this conversation.
But I think it is.
I don't.
I think it is. Yo,
let's put some money on it.
Well, I don't.
Nope.
I don't know if I'm betting on.
Let's put some money on it. Is this the conversation that gets Nunu?
Well, we won't know. We won't know.
I would say out of all the conversations we've had, this one feels different. Like this one's like literally striking a nerve in my stomach.
I see it on your face.
Yeah.
Like it's literally like striking a nerve, and I'm literally like going to listen to this conversation over and over.
So what does it make you want to do right now?
It makes me want to hit the stop button, kick y'all out.
Go to work.
Like really go to work. Like seriously, I'm like tonight I'm gonna be up like really writing this stuff. I've never really we had this conversation 2 days ago?
Yeah.
And about just finances. Like they said, you never really reach your goal because you don't write the number down. Like I can say all day, I want $1 million, but I don't write down how to reach the $1 million. What's step 1? What's step 2? What's step 3? But now I'm really like this one's hitting me, and I'm feeling different. But I don't want this feeling to be just a moment. I want this to be a long-lasting feeling that every day I wake up, I have this gut feeling like, yo, you're not going hard enough. You need to do more.
Mm-hmm. What are 3 goals that you want to commit to in front of all the thousands of people who are going to watch this, that we can hold this time next year? We come back, we have the same conversation. What are the 3 big pillar goals that we're adding on it? And you can add to it, but give me 3 now.
3 right now. I want to have 100,000 in my savings account. I want to have lost 100 pounds. And the third one is I want to have my parents in a position to where finances is no longer an issue. And I'm working on that right now, actually. So those are like my top 3 goals that I like just kind of.
Are you working on it right now?
Actually, yes. My mom had a conversation this morning, and we're actually a few steps. We had a conversation with the city in regards to our home healthcare business that we want to start. So we're close to actually getting that taken care of. And then
home healthcare businesses, they need cash, right?
Yeah.
They need investment.
100%. Did you get approved yet?
That's what we had a conversation about this morning.
Yeah, we're waiting on our paperwork to come back.
Waiting on paperwork from the city and stuff like that. So
yeah. But here's what I think, because we've had a lot of conversations over the years, right?
Yeah.
But we can see the small improvement. It's not like, I mean, you never know which conversation changes everything, right? But it's the accumulation of being in an environment. That's why I truly believe you can get rich by default if you just hang around it long enough, because you'll have enough of these conversations. It'll feel a certain way. And you'll lose the motivation, but that's why you got to go to church every week, because you'll feel a certain way. And it doesn't change who you are or change your character, but it's the week after that and the week after that. That's why you got to keep going to conferences, because you don't know which conference, which event, which mastermind, which workshop is going to be the one that changes. But it's all of them together that you take little pieces from, and you don't even know that you're taking a piece from it, but it's affecting you because you're just in the environment. And if you stay there long enough, I don't care if you're not money motivated, but I would probably say that you are more money motivated. You have higher money goals now compared to last year because you're around it. And I don't care. Your environment will change you before you change it. I don't care who you're talking to.
That was a bar.
I have bars every now and again. But your environment will change you before you change it. I don't care if you're how much of a leader you are. If you hang around followers long enough, or if you hang around gossipers long enough, if you hate gossiping, but you hang around it long enough, you will find yourself, yo, no, I did see so-and-so. And you won't even know it. You won't even know it. So I'm telling you, Joe, that this is going to be another one. And you might have to miss the goal and then see we run it up to 10,000 people, and that joint's making $100,000 a month, and you like, I could be making $30,000 a month, and that might be the thing to say, okay, I got to stop missing out on opportunities. But I think at the root of it, we got to identify, and it's not just you anymore, but I think at the root of it, we got to identify our patterns. We got these patterns. If I don't change my pattern, let's say with my wife, and I am conscious of it now. I'm working on it. If we get into it, I go into a hole and I just don't talk to her.
Yes, he does.
For like a couple days at a time. It's like, I don't talk to her at all. She's like, can you hold the baby? I'm like, yeah, I got it.
He does not talk to her.
It's not silence, but it's very passive aggressive. Do you want something to eat? No, I'm good. Thanks.
You don't initiate any conversation.
I'm not rude.
You're just responding.
I'm just responding.
No.
But I know that that's one of my patterns. But because I'm trying to be a better man, And I'm trying to be a better husband. I'm trying to be a better father. And I want to be the person that when people look up at me and say, yo, I admire you. I want you to admire me, not just for my ability to teach entrepreneurship and business and stuff, right? So this is one of the patterns, and this is a struggle for me. It's not easy, because if somebody does something to me and I don't like it, I have no problem never talking to you again. That's my pattern. But I can't live life like that.
Okay, so what are you doing?
I acknowledge it now. And it's not for a week anymore. You know what I mean?
Okay. Acknowledgement is not enough.
But my wife will tell you I'm getting better.
But what are you doing? Share it with us. You highlighted a habit that you have to break. What are some practical things for another man who's watching this who throws temper tantrums like you do?
It's definitely a temper tantrum problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's like pouty. It's like, it really is like it's like being a brat. You know what I mean?
I'll call David and I'll be like, so, talking to your wife? She called you. You're my friend. She called you.
But I slowly warm back up to initiating conversation.
But
and
what are you?
Walk in. So I don't know if I don't have the answers, but I know I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna go in the house and I'm gonna talk to her. So I'll go in reluctantly and say, hey, how's it going? Or no, I'll say something like, how's your day? Mad dry. Why y'all laughing at my pain? I'm trying, you know what I mean?
It is terrible, right? It's not enough.
It is terrible. I do. 100%. But that is my area of struggle. But for everybody that's listening, you have a struggle that's equally hard to get over. Ain't nobody here that everything, you are the person that you want to be.
Yeah.
So some of you have certain habits where you say, I'm done drinking, but you always go back. Or you might struggle with masturbation or something like that, where that's your struggle. And we say, well, David, that's terrible that you don't talk to your wife. That's my struggle. That's the cross that I have to bear. And I'm open and honest to talk about the things that I struggle with. The thing is, not everybody has the microphone, so you can't share your struggle.
That's right.
And I would bet that there's nobody here that has a struggle that's easier or not as important as mine. So my try is, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna say something. That's how I try. And eventually, we've been married for 3 years, and I got some. I'm getting better, and I'm getting better in a whole lot of other areas of my life where I used to just work all night, but I come home now. I'm 4 or 5 o'clock. Sunday, if we having family day, I'm home Sunday. There's a whole lot of things that I could be doing, but I commit to that. So we all have a struggle, but don't feel bad, Joe, because we all have a struggle, but we got to be transparent and open about it.
Yeah. No amount of money makes you struggle any less either.
Yeah,
your struggles are just different.
100%.
So some people are like, oh, you can have all these struggles, but you make 7 figures. Yeah, but then you have other things that you're worried about, right? Like maybe you're making 7 figures and you're surrounded by a bunch of people who don't really care about you. They care about the opportunities that you could bring. Like that's a really, really low feeling too. So I think becoming is a strong theme for what we've talked about today. It's not about the trying, which is what I was trying to break you from saying. I'm trying to become a better husband, or I'm trying to communicate better, or whatever it is.
It's a struggle.
It's about becoming. You have to decide to become.
Yeah.
And that's why I had so many affirmations for this year, because it wasn't about being a better husband. It's about becoming the man who is a better husband. It's about becoming the woman who is a better leader, becoming a woman who can attract a relationship, a healthy relationship, becoming the woman who can make 7 figures, becoming the man who has integrity and just does what he says he's going to do. Because sometimes you don't need motivation, you just need integrity. And integrity is about doing what you said you were going to do.
But it's not as easy as becoming is a hard job.
Very hard.
It's a mountain to climb.
Very, very hard.
So so right now I can say that I'm putting effort towards it. I don't get it right, but I'm putting effort.
Do we
towards it.
ever get it 100% right?
Yeah,
Like, do
not.
we know someone who's super health conscious that never has a bad day? Do we know someone who's an amazing husband or wife that never steps out of boundaries and, pushes the envelope? You never really get it 100% of the way right, but you shouldn't be getting it 100% of the way wrong either.
That's a fact. What time is the food places closed? Because I really want to go. It's over out here?
No.
Nothing no.
There's an open table app.
There's got to be something out here. Maybe Krabby's closed. Krabby closed at 10. But there's something that's closed at 12, I'm sure.
What about room service?
We could just be outside. You know what I mean? We could go hit Tampa. Who with it? Y'all with it? We take some Ubers or something? Y'all ain't with it? Yeah, you with it, Kim?
Oh, look. Bahama Breeze.
What time? Where is it?
10:30 and 11 o'clock. It's in Tampa.
How far is it?
16 miles. Dang,
So
there's nothing over here.
Y'all got something to do? I mean...
Yes, we got things to do.
All right, anyway, let's wrap up this episode, man. Are we done? We're done here?
I think we're done. What do you guys think? Is there anything that you like? Share, because you guys who are listening in or watching this, you can't see the audience, but we have a microphone right up here and we're in a room full of 6 and 7 figure entrepreneurs. And I think it's always important, like one of our give backs that we have to be as successful people is an example.
Which means we're not going to eat.
Which means that we are going to eat. We still have time. But if we could hear from 2 or 3 people who are brave enough to share, what are you becoming? What is either some pattern that you have to break? And what are you breaking it to become?
We're not gonna
Come on, grab the mic right here.
My name's Sanchez Berry. I would say my pattern is giving only about 85 to 90%. I know I can go to 120. That's why I'm coming to this conference, so that I can learn how to give 120. Because I know if I get 120, all my dreams and goals are right there.
For sure.
Some days you wake up, you be like, do I want to do it? Do I want to go as hard as I say I want to go?
Mm-hmm.
So either change what I want or change what I say I want.
Real quick before you go. So you want to give 120% in what specifically and to become what specifically?
I would say giving 120%, trying to make my financial goals come true. I say I want to get it, but some days I just wake up not giving that effort.
But what does it mean to give effort? We got to get real specific.
I would say putting in those hours. Watching stock charts and learning new material.
Okay.
Sometimes it just get boring and it just seems repetitive, but you got to just stay in the grind until... Yeah.
But if you could give 85 to 90%, 75% of the time, what would you become?
I will become the man I need to become for my family.
Which is?
A provider to help millions of people become financially stable and build generational wealth. Mm-hmm. So without me putting that 120% up there, I feel like I'm letting the people down. So
that's it right there. Mm. That's it right there. So every time
who are these people?
You guys, real quick, David always talks about me cutting him off. He's done it like 5, 6. Cole, am I lying? He's done it like 5, 6 times. I think it's that man-woman thing. I'm not gonna put it out there, but
Okay, you're right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nope, I lost my thought. Go ahead and
what was the question?
Please respond to the king.
Who are the people though that you're letting down?
I would say my wife, my son.
But doesn't that make it different?
Yeah.
Y'all, I'm letting people down, but when you have to say, I'm letting my son down. Mm-hmm. I'm letting my wife down. Mm-hmm. Maybe you need to call her and say, yo, I'm letting you down. Or you got to look your child in the face.
How old is your son?
She just cut me off.
6 months.
She just cut me off. Did y'all see that?
I did. So one of the mindset shifts that I like to practice and I teach my clients to practice, like when they come and they haven't shown up for themselves, I always want to find out who you're doing it for. In your case, you're doing it for your son and your wife. So every single day that you wake up that you don't give your 120%, it's a choice, is it not? It's a choice. So the next time you pick up your son on a day that you're not giving 120%, I want you to wake him up in the morning and say, oh, my baby, I'm choosing not to set you straight today. You know what? I love you so much, but I'm just choosing not to do this for you today. Because it's not for you. It's for them. right? So when I was on that grind at the time to become a multiple six-figure income earner, because I figured if I could make multiple six figures, then I at least have enough money to pay for my daughter to go to whatever college she wanted to. And I refused to be the only parent because she has friends with affluent parents. She wasn't going to be the only one who didn't get to choose. And I could not look at her and say, you know what? The reason that you can't go to the college that you want to go to is because I didn't choose you. So it's not that, man, I just know that I could show up and I can do things differently. No, call a spade what the spade is. Today, I didn't choose you, wife. See how that flies over.
Wow. Yeah.
Thank you so much, man.
Very welcome.
All right.
Anybody else want more? Brave enough to just share.
Can we find out what time the place closed here, though, at least?
Cole is like, I am not going up there.
Yeah.
No. We have anybody over here brave enough? I mean, this is the reason that we are all excelling at the levels that we're excelling is because of the rooms that we are choosing to sit in. And sometimes it's our own peers that can give us that one piece of advice or thing. Like,
I want to give them the advice like at dinner. You know what I mean?
I couldn't be the only non-7-figure income earner in my circle.
That would hurt.
I couldn't be. These guys would never let me hear the end of it. When I made 6 figures in a day, David said, Neil said, why didn't you do 5? Donni, it's you. You could have done $500,000. Just go back and do a repitch. Do it again.
Yo, it's so crazy because I know she's way better at all the stuff than me. She's better at teaching, better at presenting the offer, like crafting the offer. I know she's better at all of that stuff than me. So that's the only reason I'm like, really? You feel? But
so then it made me feel like crap. So then I had to say that my first $1 million day, I had to declare that, and it will happen. It's already happened. Like, it's happened. I see it. Like,
you want to compete?
Whatever.
Whoever has the first $1 million day?
No, because my date is March. You're not pressuring me into that.
What you mean?
My date is, when's your date?
I don't even have a date yet.
You want to do it next month.
Yeah, but you should want to do it next month too.
I do want to do it next month.
You're going to do all that you can next month anyway.
I'm going to give it all that I have.
Okay, so
by March.
By March. Yeah. Okay, so what happens?
I said it. Let me tell you this. So I decided this year that I wanted to make $1 million, and I realized, you cut me off, I never got to tell my story, and I just won't now. But I realized that it wasn't $1 million that I wanted to make. Mm-hmm. It wasn't 7 figures that I want to make. It's 7 figures that I want to have.
Yeah.
It's 7 figures that I want to possess. So the goal is different now.
Yeah.
The goal is different now.
But I think both of us need to do it by March. So it doesn't have to be a first. It doesn't have to be a first.
We declared 7 figures in March of this year. We might be on to something with this March
February.
thing.
It was February.
Dang.
But what I'm saying is...
It aired in March.
We just got to hit.
I'm making stuff up. I don't know.
Both of us just do it by March. Okay. It doesn't have to be a first or a second.
Okay.
We just got to do it by March. If we don't, we just got to set some consequences.
But if we do, what's the reward? We never celebrate.
We never celebrate. We're going to go celebrate.
What are we going to do?
I don't know. So my wife might be listening to that, like, oh, I want one too. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't want a thing. I don't want a thing. I want an experience. Yeah, I want something big.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out at dinner.
When I do it, we do Ghana.
Nope. All right. So this episode is sponsored
this has been another fabulous edition of the Social Proof Podcast.
Are you going to do it?
This episode, I was doing it.
Go for it. One more thing.
This has been another amazing edition of the Social Proof Podcast. Joe, we love you.
We do.
We really do. And we see so much potential in what you do. Like, in the short period of time that you've been a full-time entrepreneur, you've been doing numbers. Yeah. So much so that you can't even, like, as a courtesy, bring me non-tap water. It's just things that he told me.
I thought that was cool. He had a little tap cup with the...
Hold on. First of all, you've been getting Pellegrino every episode. I bought a case specifically just for you and I.
You were so sweet. But you did tell me that you were brand new.
I am.
Pellegrino.
It's Pellegrino. I didn't want. We already went hard. I didn't want to. You know what I mean? Pellegrino.
Whatever.
He mixed two
He
brands.
just got a couple dollars.
Yeah.
Ain't there yet.
We love you, and we want to see you be a 7-figure income earner.
I appreciate y'all.
But you gotta want it. I don't want you to be what you don't want to be.
This conversation brought me to an event that David had some months ago.
I don't want the story. This episode.
No, tell me more. You're gonna get this story. Tell me more. You had an event. Matter of fact, Cole was there. Cole was there. Let's be quick. You had an event at Crab 404 in Roswell. Mm-hmm. And everybody there was like 6 and 7 figures earners. You might have been there too, right? Mm-hmm. And I was the only one. I was like 30,000 at the time. And I felt so small. And
G. Bryant came through.
Yeah. And I was like, ooh, like, I feel just so small in this room. Like, I think it was so bad to the point I didn't want to talk to nobody. And it just reminded me of that time and that feeling that I had again.
But you're the man now. You could just be what I think the ultimate overall thought here is you've reached a certain status and we don't want you to stop there. If you got here, you can double it. And then you can double that and you can double that. You just got to do the work.
And you know what's crazy is businesses can outgrow people if the people don't grow with the business. So I love you like a brother. But where the company is going, everyone has to grow. Because I can't, that's why I say, by January, you got to hit a certain number because now it's holding us back. You feel me? So like you have to continue to grow with the company. We not sitting around just twiddling our thumbs because I know for where we going, I have to become more. So
to that point, a company can also outgrow its CEO.
100%.
And the goal really, you want your company to outgrow you.
Absolutely. I would love to hire a more qualified
your company
CEO.
to outgrow you. But you don't want to be a part of a company and it outgrows you.
Right. I would 100% love to hire a CEO that's way more talented. And I could just have a vision and say, Anyway, are you going to finish this spot? You're not hungry, huh?
I am starving. This has been another amazing edition of the Social Proof Podcast. Make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and sharing the podcast. And then we want you to do something different. Share your favorite clip from this episode and tag @DonnieWiggins_ and this guy over here. We want to make sure that we are sharing this with all of your networks, everybody who needs to see this. This is an entrepreneurship-based podcast, but we drop real life gems. This episode is sponsored by, what you got?
That was your whole...
What you got?
This episode is sponsored by The Morning Meetup, themorningmeetup.com, the only organization that gathers every single day, Monday through Friday, to teach, train, and cultivate entrepreneurs. Literally, there's between 400 and 600 entrepreneurs from all across the country on a call every single morning, Zoom call, live, where I'm teaching, my friend's teaching. Donnie's been on there a bunch of times. But what's more important is the community that's built because like they're having their own meetups in their own cities.
Be feeling left
out. They don't even invite me.
Be feeling crazy. Left out.
But yes, themorningmeetup.com. I'm telling you, it is a phenomenal. I'm willing to bet that if you join the Morning Meetup, you will stay for a lifetime. I'm so confident that I'm going to let you join for just $1. $1 trial for 7 days. Join the community, jump in, see if you like it. If you love it, stay. It's $79 a month. If you don't like it, you can leave. It's okay. No obligation. You could just leave. Say, hey, this ain't for me. But we meet every single day at 8 a.m. and we're done by 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every single morning. And we have a book club where everybody on this call reads the same chapter of the same book and we grow together. We've literally read 14 books this year together as a community, hundreds of us. So go to themorningmeetup.com. I love to stay in touch with you. Send me a text message at 404-737-4935. That is 404-737-4935. Send me a text message. I'll keep you updated on all the podcast episodes that's coming out. Anything I'm just thinking in my heart and in my mind, I just send it out to you, okay? So go to themorningmeetup.com and text me.
All right. This episode is also brought to you by Post to Paid, the only community that targets entrepreneurs or serves entrepreneurs who are struggling to connect with their audience on social media. So you've got this bright idea, you're ready to get your business rolling, but you realize that you're posting stuff that's just not connecting. It's not converting into cash. It's not growing you more followers. It's not closing the deal. You know what I've done?
What'd you do?
I eliminated the overwhelm associated with posting on your social media networks.
What?
Absolutely. What I have done is created a platform where I will text you directly to your phone every single day, including Sundays.
Really?
3 times a day.
Interesting.
It's getting so many results for people, helping entrepreneurs, even introverts, to come out of their shell. People who are not introverts, who just run out of things to say. Like, you need to be posting on your social media channels at least 3 times a day if you are serious about exposing your business at maximum capacity.
You're right.
I believe in this so much. You know what I'm doing?
What are you doing?
Something that is a unique strategy.
Tell me more.
I'm letting them join for $1.
$1?
$1.
I've got $1.
Unique strategy.
Interesting.
$1, 7-day trial. If you like it, stay. It's $37.
You gotta stop taking my pictures, Donnie. Like,
Don't stop interrupting me. If you like it, stay. It's $37 a month. Literally $37 a month for you to get content, fresh content every single day, 3 times a day, and a monthly content training.
I'm signing up right now.
A monthly content training. You want a partner? I
do want a partner.
We'll talk about it. Yes. A monthly content training. So what I want you to do is text me 404-737-2767. I got to shout out the people who signed up for Black Friday when I dropped this $1 special, who did the right thing. And they allowed me to keep it open for you guys long term. So just keep doing the right thing and you can keep trying it out. More people can try it out for $1. This episode is also brought to you by Six Figure Accelerator. It is the dopest platform that develops coaches and consultants from scratch. So you may be a successful entrepreneur. You may just know a thing or two and you want to teach somebody something: life coaching, business coaching, money coaching, relationship coaching, whatever it is. I help you to develop your coaching and consulting program from scratch. And we got a bunch of 6-figure income earners.
I know it.
I mean, a bunch of them.
That's a fact.
I'm talking about a bunch of them. Joe is a dropout. But you can get that information by going directly to my website at www.sixfigureedu.com. That is www.sixfigureedu.com. Lucky for Joe, the doors are always open. Bring yourself back.
There it is. Come on back, Joe.
Crazy thing is, I just had your course open 2 days ago.
Aw, good for you. I'm going to go and check your activity right now just to confirm that.
Check it.
All right, good stuff. All right, you guys, we are out of here. It's been real.
Yes, sir. Right. Peace.